Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to Fallout 4 roleplaying with the attack key disabled. Last week, Sean ordered Nasty Nate to destroy the railroad, but Nate really isn't very good at taking orders. In the meantime, somebody just ran up and told me there's some kind of trouble in Bioscience. If I'm gonna be the new director, I ain't putting up with that.
For goodness sake, be reasonable. I know you can hear me, now open this door. What's the use? I'm not gonna miss everyone complaining about insufficient power levels. Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as Father's successor. They've taken control of the Bioscience security systems and cut off our food supply.
Protest, huh? Have they made any demands?
Not yet, but I expect they'll demand that you renounce all ties to the Institute.
Is there any way I can talk to them?
As a matter of fact, there is. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the Bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Logan. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort.
Yeah, what's going on in here?
Here we are. Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
Violence is a last resort, huh? We'll see.
Movement, you must be
Whoa.
terminated.
You are really testing my willingness to play Mr. Nice Guy. And they reprogrammed the turrets. It's empty. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where I am. I think I came through here when I was looking for the FEV lab for Virgil. These turrets is coming out of your paychecks, eggheads.
Aha! I thought I heard something. Made it past the guards, Impressive. If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you're upset. I get it. You made your point. Now open the door.
I'm not taking orders from you. You haven't earned my respect, and you never will.
I'm not a patient person, Dr. Higgs.
Unlike you, Dr. Loken and I are very patient. We have more than enough food to stay locked in here, as long as is necessary. You and the others will go hungry long before we do.
Doc, you threatened me with hunger. You ain't gonna like how this ends.
Nor will you. If you leave us here, everyone else will starve, because you were too stubborn to refuse Father's appointment. Remove us by force, and everyone will fear and despise you. I'm afraid you lose either way.
Play Newton's tape. Release the specimens.
The gorilla pin door is opening. Is someone present?
And make some popcorn.
engaging.
Two fatal flaws in your hypothesis, Doc. First, you shouldn't have assumed people you tried to starve will despise me for getting their food back. Second, you shouldn't have assumed that I would think having them fear me is a bad thing. I will grant you that I may not have thought the robot gorilla plan all the way through.
Combat subroutine. Eliminate.
These things is better at using cover than most raiders.
I must end your...
That was unfortunate. We don't like violence here, and I fear your actions will have consequences.
They shot at me first, and I still gave them a chance to surrender. Besides, the food supply is secure. I call that a win.
In the short term, perhaps, but choosing violence always carries a cost. I'll see that the mess in hydroponics is cleaned up. I suppose I should also make the funeral arrangements. Well, there's much to do, so I'll get about it. In the meantime, I'm sure everyone will be relieved that this is over.
All right, Newton, see if I try negotiating next time. In fact, there better not be a next time.
Operating at full capacity.
All right, let's go see if I can unload these buggy Gen 3s.
Something on your mind? You don't look so good.
Nothing serious. Just tried to tweak my management style a little bit. Didn't really work out. So remember when you said to do whatever the Institute asked me so I don't blow my cover? How far do you want me to go with that? Because they just ordered me to kill the lot of you.
I guess they consider us a real threat after all. I suppose we should be flattered. So really, the question is, what are you going to do about it?
You're still alive, so what do you think?
I think you didn't answer the question. Things have progressed faster than we expected. You need to stall them. Buy time any way you can. And step up your operation with Patriot. That's all we can do. Good luck.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Still got Tom's holotape right here. Alright, let's go see if Patriot can move some busted robots for me. Copy Tom's message. Read Patriot's reply. That was quick. Advanced Systems Maintenance Room. Alright, let's go.
Hey, it's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know, the encryption algorithm.
Who are you?
I'm Liam Benet. My father runs synth development, and everyone knows who you are.
Why should I trust you?
You're worried about me? If the SRB cracked Trinity, man, your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
I want to get rid of the Gen 3s, but the Directorate ain't completely under my thumb yet. The Railroad can move the merchandise, so they sent me to make contact with the inside man, Patriot. That's you.
What? The Railroad? As in the Railroad? And they gave me a code name, too? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
So how do you get them out of here?
Through hacking. The departments focus their best talents on hard science. Why waste time on terminal security, right? The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, Bioscience can get a hand-picked synth on surface detail. And it turns out the railroad was waiting for them. Wow.
Why are you doing this?
At first, I just wanted to see if I could get away with it. It was a challenge, you know? But then I realized the synths are really just like us, except without any freedom. I decided to help the ones that wanted to escape, so they can have a better life.
Liam, when I was your age, I had a car, piece of junk. It used to say things like, it has a mind of its own, only starts when it feels like it. Sold it to this beatnik who wound up doing a lot of work for me in later years. He said it never ran right for me because I never gave it enough love. Those are just expressions, Liam. Cars don't have free will. They got mechanical problems, electrical problems, software problems. And you are now in the business of turning my problems into somebody else's problems.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths. At once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense.
None taken.
I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know?
Gotta tell you, it's actually a nicer place to live than your little shopping mall here. Got more character.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Who are you?
My designation is Z-114, a simple maintenance synth.
He's not from here. He's been helping our synths escape on the surface. It's safe.
If you insist we speak in front of him, do so quickly.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
What do you need?
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Now, where would I get that?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The obvious place won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the railroad. I need those login credentials.
13 at once. I like this kid. The more the better.
Preliminary analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman. Wilfred. Bergman. Wilfred. registered as co-owner of Cambridge Polymer Labs. Estimated 81% chance of login credentials being located at this facility.
81%, huh? How'd you come up with that number? Pull it out of a hat? So what's at this Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs, LLC, had several active military contracts, specializing in robotics. The region is currently classified as extremely dangerous.
After you get the password report back here, with any luck, we'll have a game plan by then.
And here's the lab.
Welcome to the Cambridge Polymer Labs. Employment opportunities await in the field of scientific research. Shall we begin your application now?
Sure, why not?
Let's begin the interview. Due to increased demands for staff in all fields, we have condensed the employment test accordingly. Question 1. Do you possess previous experience with polymer synthesis?
I could bust your chassis open. We can see what kind of polymers you got in there.
Calculating test results. I am pleased to offer you the position of security personnel. We look forward to having you chase off interlopers. Would you like the orientation before beginning your work in the labs?
Nah, let's just move it along.
Due to staffing needs, we can forego the orientation at this time. Please follow me to the research lab so that you may begin your work. Complimentary beverages are provided for employees. Please label any food or cigarettes you leave in the break room.
This is related to the ad that you hear from the iBot, I think, you know, at random places throughout the Commonwealth.
The research staff will greet you on the other side of the clean room. Thank you for your attention, and welcome to the team. Please enter the clean room. I have been instructed to inform you that Director Elwood has issued mandatory overtime due to uncompleted milestones. Consequently, staff will not be allowed to leave the labs until the piezonucleic lining project has been completed.
Let's move
Please
out.
report to the project lead,
I was
Dr.
expecting this
Elwood
place to
Woolham,
be
for
filthy.
specific research assignment. Starting decontamination sequence.
Mandatory overtime, huh? Nice. Oh, that's a lot of rads. Now, there are two ways to get out of here. You can actually complete the research project they were working on before the war, which is actually kind of a cool little mini-quest that also gets you a decent power armor add-on. You can get the details from these terminals. This console controls the experiment. You combine different substances in these slots. The substances are in sample containers, like this one. You also need to find a radioactive isotope, which goes in this slot, and when you get everything combined correctly, the power armor add-on appears in this dispenser. But Nate doesn't use power armor, and science really isn't his strong suit, so we'll do it the other way. You don't actually need science perks or anything, so technically Nate could do it, but nah.
I'm gonna be jumping at the goddamn shadows next.
Hello.
What the heck is polymer anyway?
Beats me, sweetheart. Expert terminal. Well, that's not happening. Oh, by the way, you may have noticed that my sneak attack bonus is 4.8, so I did take the perks in the right order to get the full bonus, which was Cloak and Dagger, Mr. Sandman 3, and Ninja 3. There's another sample container. And another ghoul. Sounds like you already found them, sweetheart. Alright, since I can't unlock an expert terminal, we have to go through the vents. If you read all the terminals in the building, an interesting little story emerges about what was going on here right before and right after the war, including why security is the way it is and why these vents are breached, but Nate really just wants the password. You know, it really isn't that hard to tell actual dead bodies from ghouls that are just hibernating, but I get distracted when I'm blabbing about stuff. And the cryo mine. Oh, some stim packs. A tripwire. This terminal should unlock that expert door from inside. You don't need to hack it. Again, that's all explained on the other terminals, but since I'm doing this quick and dirty, I don't want to give lore spoilers. Anyway, here's the terminal we actually need beside another sample container. And I forget which one of these actually opens the clean room door. Apparently not that one. Oh, there we go. Disengage containment lockdown. Yeah. I don't know if these turrets go hostile just from disengaging the lockdown, or if it's because I activated the defenses. Obviously, finishing the experiment is the best solution, because then none of the automated defenses go hostile, but I suspect trial and error is probably the worst solution. Alright, let's go get the password. Okay, the CEO's office is up there.
Damn! This lock's pissing me off. Oh yeah. I love that click. Lock's open.
Dope.
What the hell was that?
The director was apparently in his office when Kate unlocked it. All the director had was a fancy hairbrush. Well, you know, executives love their grooming. Okay, nothing on that terminal. Oh, there is a Massachusetts surgical journal on the desk beside it, though. Permanently inflict 2% bonus limb damage. Nice.
Hope reading that's worth our time.
Nothing in the desk. Oh, I'm an idiot. I got so wrapped up trying to open the clean room door that I apparently failed to notice the password is actually on that same terminal. Alright, back to the lab. Yes. Password reset archive. Duh. I think Kate killed Molly on the way back through. If I weren't an idiot, she'd still be alive, but oh well. Yeah, there she is. Oh. Oh, maybe she's immortal. In which case, I am definitely not fighting her. Alright, back to Desdemona.
I know you all have questions, but I've said everything I'm going to. But know this. The ops you're planning and running now are the most important of our lives. We have a chance at rescuing more synths than we ever dreamed of. So get it done. Excellent work. On our side, we've gone through your report. It was extraordinary. So many pieces of the puzzle clicked into place. Our final analysis indicates the Institute is far more formidable than we ever feared or imagined. If we stage a mass breakout, Patriot's 13 synths will undoubtedly be the last we ever save. Instead, we use this one chance to rescue all the synths. Every last one of them.
As much as I would love to do that, there's one little problem. Don't know if you heard my speech on the radio, but I'm in the process of taking over the Institute. I can move a few here, a few there, no problem. But there's no way the Directorate's gonna let me ship them all out at once. And if I start shooting department heads for lipping off to me, they're gonna unelect me real quick. I already told them to stop production of the Gen 3, so there's no rush. Take this batch, be patient while I tighten the reins on any eggheads that got a problem with it.
We do that, and we'd no longer be a gnat buzzing in the Institute's ear, but a real threat. I will not save 13 synths and then condemn an entire people. The Institute will never let their slaves go without a fight. So the heart of our problem is manpower. Even if we call in all our agents, and we will, we won't be able to hold our own against the Institute for long. Talk with C-114. If the synths down there want freedom, they must fight and risk their lives to earn it.
Des, are you listening? I know you got some big fantasy about freeing slaves or whatever, but they're just defective machines. I told you that the day we met. You didn't like it then, you don't gotta like it now, but I don't want them blowing a gasket around me, so once I take over, there ain't gonna be a single Gen 3 left in the place. You wanna pretend that makes you a liberator, knock yourself out so long as they're gone. But I do not want to tip my hand at the Directorate until I'm in a position to crush any dissent. And I do not want to trust Z-114 with this. He's the buggiest one of the bunch, just based on how far off his program he already is.
Funny, our evaluation indicates it's Patriot we should be worried about. Z-114 is risking everything to help his people, and he knows it. Whereas Liam, as much as we owe Patriot, we can't be certain how committed he is. If he learns we're willing to kill to free synths, he may not have the stomach for it. So get what you need from him and then cut him loose. Good luck. We're all with you.
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
Got it right here.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the modern terminals is going to be seriously time-consuming. Even with that password. So hand it over and I'll get started.
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update? It's safer if you do it.
I have made arrangements. I can get the 13 we discussed into position. But, tell me, do you think Mr. Benet's plan will work?
We got a little problem. The railroad won't go along with Benet's plan. They think that'd be the end of it. I know. I told them I'm the incoming director. It's only a matter of time before there's nobody left who's willing or able to countermand my orders, but they won't listen. So just hypothetically, what do you think would happen if I was to order right now that every Gen 3 in the Institute goes topside, never comes back?
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Perhaps if we stand up openly to the scientists, more of my people would join us. Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives for this. But we should be prepared for some of the synths to fight against us.
Look, I ain't necessarily opposed to finding out sooner rather than later which of these eggheads is gonna turn out to be disloyal, but are you saying synths would try and stop you?
Synths always wear a mask of the docile machine. Otherwise, your mind is erased by the SRB. Some have worn that mask for so long that there's nothing underneath. Even if the path was clear, those broken people would stay and serve the scientists, and even try to stop us.
Right. The ones that ain't glitched out yet would still follow their programming. Who knows what they'd do if they got two sets of conflicting instructions. Alright, I ain't saying it's gonna happen, but why don't you get an estimate of how many we're talking about? If I decide all at once is the way to go, I can count on the railroad backing me up.
Together, we have a chance. I admire Mr. Beignet a great deal, but we can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst.
All right. I think I'm going to call it a day, and we'll see if Nate can figure out who his true friends are next week. Although, for Nate, it's less about friends and more about which enemies are easier to predict and manipulate. Anyway, see you then.
Operating at full capacity.